Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Monday the 8th of December.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
1, 2, 3, as we strive to achieve the government's 2017 goal, we attend a special tree planting event.
Is the love for local football in decline? Fans give their opinion on why football matches are attracting less patrons.
And it's Monday and we could all use a little motivation. We explore the importance of a healthy diet and share some tips to stay fit.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahadio.
And me, Regis Isheja. Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports and lifestyle headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are all here in the studio. It's Monday morning. What's going on with the money?
The money, well, people are starting to freak out about the East African community, you know, this whole regional integration. So people are getting worried about it. I have all the details for you today.
All right, Arnold, sports, what happened over the weekend?
From Ronaldo's record-breaking evening in the La Liga to the latest in the English Premier League.
Okay, well, Alan, you're usually the one that gets us up, so
yes,
talk to me.
Speaking of up, it's Motivation Mondays, so I've got tips for you on how to stay healthy as well as how to stay fit.
Good stuff! All that and more is still to come, but first, Rise and Shine Story of the Day. Rwanda aims for 30% of all of its soil to be covered by forests by 2017 to reverse deforestation and curb the effects of climate change. To fulfill this goal, the country has initiated a tree planting campaign on National Tree Planting Day that has since been embraced by citizens and friends of Rwanda alike. One tree planting activity spearheaded by the Rwanda Natural Resources Authority in collaboration with Netherlands Alumni Organization of Rwanda took place recently in Kigali. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Here in Gahanga sector, Kichukiro district, the locals, people of the Ministry of the Natural Resources and Environment, as well as the Netherlands Alumni of Rwanda, met in a tree planting activity. During his speech, Minister Vincent Biruta took time to explain to the locals the importance of trees and some of the effects of deforestation.
Ibyo rero bigira ingaruka zikomeye mu bijyanye n'ibihe n'imihindagurikire y'ibihe, akaba ari byo bituma abantu bavuga bati ntawe ukimenya igihe imvura igwira, ntawe ukimenya igihe izuba rivira, imisozi iratwarwa, habaho imyuzure hirya no hino, ndetse n'abantu bakaba bahatakariza ubuzima. Uburyo rero bwo guhangana n'iyo mihindagurikire y'ibihe n'ingaruka zayo, imwe y'ingenzi ni ugutera ibiti.
The activity, which was organized by the Netherlands Alumni of Rwanda, attracted many officials, including the ambassador of the Netherlands to Rwanda. And she had this to share with the people.
All of us are experts today, tree planting experts for a better environment. A greener Rwanda does not only refer, thanks, to a friendly color, but also to the environment. The trees we've planted here today reduce and curb the emission of greenhouse gases. Through reforestation, soil erosion and degradation is prevented. Hence, trees help reduce losses in agricultural production related to floods.
Jean Damascene, a local of Gahanga sector, said this was a great event and that he had learned a lot more about trees. He even committed himself in conservation projects.
Ndumva ari byiza cyane kuko ari ingirakamaro kuko igiti tugikoresha ibintu byinshi, tukivanamo intebe zo kwicarira, tukivanamo serikali yo kuduhambamo, tunanabiryamira nk'igitanda, nk'ameza turiraho ni igiti. Ni ngombwa rero kugira ngo tubibungabunge ku buryo ntawe ushobora kucyangiza n'imwe.
With more events like this being organized every year in Rwanda, it is easy to say that Rwanda has a very green future ahead of it. Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Fidelis, that looked very lively for a government
Should have
situation.
seen all of us just pulling on moves, planting trees, being happy about it.
Were
So
you
it's really
planting
nice.
trees?
Yes, of course. I go hard. You know me.
Milking cows, planting trees, this girl
Right.
does it all.
Everybody knows Rwanda as the country of 1,000 hills. So when you talk about hills, you're also talking about it being a green country because, when you look at it all over the place, it's really green. What's wrong with deforestation here? What's happening? Are they cutting trees for specific reason?
Well, some of the people I interviewed said, what's happening is people have to cut trees. It has to happen because most of the people, especially in rural areas, use it as firewood. People use it to make beds, like they explained, and all of these other things. But unfortunately, and as much as they're cutting these trees, they're not doing the same to grow the trees. Where you cut one, you should grow one. And basically what this whole event was focused on is explaining to them the importance of the fact that when you cut a tree, make sure to grow another tree. Just grow them the way you'd grow your normal beans or anything that's important to you. Make it as important as that.
Right, so we saw that this was a collaborative event with us and the Dutch. So tell me, is this something that even people in the community are excited about? Because I saw people were dancing and enjoying, but is it something that everyone is deciding they're going to take a part of and they're going to make it their own?
That is the plan. 2017 is just two years from now.
It's around the
So
corner.
it's quite important that everyone makes it a personal issue. They take it to heart and dedicates their time to it. During your free time or the weekend, just take some time, grow one tree, grow two trees. They sell them for very cheaply, on the street anywhere. Around Kigali, so why not do that? So basically that's just the spirit they're trying to grow in the community, and it's getting there. The people were happy doing it. None of them was forced to come and grow the trees, and they all attended in huge numbers. So I feel like yes, the community is understanding the need.
As you attended the event, when you were looking at Abaturage, the population, did they look to you like they understood the importance of it? Because yes, it's great you have a minister there, you have an ambassador there, but did they get the message?
Yeah, actually that was their whole idea. Some people sometimes when it's just the excitement of the event, people might want to do it then,
right.
And then after that forget about it. But what I noticed about everyone who was there, most of them just kept on saying, as soon as I get home, I'm going to plant a tree in my backyard, I'm going to do this. So basically, the message of the event actually got to them. They didn't just learn how to plant a tree today, they learned to plant a tree today and tomorrow. So it's something they're going to keep doing in the future.
So for those of us watching at home or even for us here who we don't know really how we could contribute, did you get any tips on, just planting a tree? Because you said you can get them anywhere, but to be honest, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Me, same here.
It's as easy as what? Planting bees or anything is so easy. Just make a small hole.
Dig a hole.
Small hole, put in your tree, and that's it. And just, water it as often as you would any other plant, and, it's good to go. And the good thing about trees is normally they'll survive on their own, so you don't need to give it too much attention, but it's always good if you can.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Fidelis.
you very much, Fidelis.
Talking
You're
about
watching.
our green country.
Exactly. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Messi?
Hey kid.
Kobe Bryant? Would you like to have some ice cream, young man?
Ice cream?
Sí.
The best fly with Europe's best airline, Turkish Airlines.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Do not forget that our Turkish Delight selfie competition, the deadline is at the end of this show. So if you haven't sent in your selfie yet, make sure you do that right now, okay? Let's get into today's business headlines. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Three business stories making headlines today. Rwanda has rewarded some of its loyal customers under the Dream Miles program. The airline, which now flies over 500,000 passengers every year, started this program aimed at giving back to passengers who fly with them regularly. It is scheduled that it will soon start flying to Zambia and Ivory Coast by early next year. The Minister of Environment, Natural Resources has reported that the mining sector has experienced major growth since 2006. Mining has now become one of the largest export earners and the second largest foreign exchange earner in the country, with export earnings growing from $226 million in 2013 from $40 million in 2006. The mining sector is among the priority sectors in Rwanda, contributing to poverty elimination, economic growth, rural employment, and the country's global goal to becoming a middle-income country by 2020. And regional integration has begun to prompt fear among the Rwandan job seekers as the number of foreign laborers increase in the country's labor market. Although joining the East African community has seen Rwanda enjoy a lot of benefits, Rwandans are worried that the EAC citizens are more experienced than them and will therefore make job opportunities less in the country. Officials have, however, urged them to take this as an opportunity to learn from them and become even more competitive.
Okay, so before we go into the sports headlines for today, tell us, what do you have for the rest of the week?
For the rest of the week, well, I know you've all heard of the Rwanda Stock Exchange. You all hear about it. Most of us don't know how it works, which is quite sad. Well, I'm going to fix that. I have all the details. I'm going to teach all of you how it works, all those numbers, all that's, I'm going to tell you about it in detail and how it works, so you all understand that at the end of the week. And also have a bit of party and, so I went into an event planning company, and I went to see how they work and how that business in particular is doing in Rwanda. So if anyone is interested in event planning, I got something for you.
Awesome. Always with the money, this one. Okay.
Yeah.
What do we have coming up?
Well, coming up in just a minute is Alma Quizera with the sports news.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Sports news with me, Arnold Kwizera. Starting with local football. Giants APR and Rayon Sport were knocked out of the semi-finals of the Ombudsman Cup played at Amahoro Stadium. Police are keen on retaining the trophy they won last year after registering an impressive 2-1 victory over Rayon Sports, whose bench missed new head coach Mvutira. Goals from Jimmy Mbaraga and Innocent Habyarimana were enough to grant the policemen a deserved victory. In the early kickoff, AS Kigali needed penalty kicks to win an enthralling encounter against league champions APR after a 1-1 draw in regulation time. To international football now. The English Premier League. Manchester City cut the gap on leaders Chelsea to 3 points, although it came at a huge cost in a weekend of upsets as Arsenal and Chelsea were dealt with losses and Liverpool failed to make it 3 in a row. Manchester City cut the gap on leaders Chelsea to 3 points, but it came at a huge cost, with striker Sergio Aguero limping off after sustaining a potentially serious knee injury. City won the game on a hotly disputed Yaya Toure penalty midway through the first half. Chelsea's unbeaten run was brought to a halt as the Blues lost 2-1 to Newcastle. 3 first-half goals from Stoke City at the Britannia were enough to hand Mark Hughes another win against the Gunners despite their late comeback. Arsenal finished with 10 men after defender Carl Chambers was given his marching orders late on. With an important Champions League game next week against Basel, not to mention a trip to Manchester United next Sunday, Liverpool's manager Brendan Rodgers' decision to start with Steven Gerrard on the bench on Saturday was futile, as the uninspired Reds could only manage a goalless draw at Anfield against Sunderland. Are football fans happy with the running of the game in the country? Over the weekend, I caught up with some of the lovers of the beautiful game to find out what they think. It is the most popular sport in the country, and lately the number of people going to the football stadiums to watch games has started to dwindle. It's common to find empty stands at a stadium, as will be spectators who prefer listening to the game over the radio rather than spend their hard-earned money to watch their favorite local club. Fans pay a lot of money to come to the stadiums and watch their heroes. Today we take it from the stadiums and onto the streets to find out how they feel about the sports. Some fans think the problem is the lack of belief in the local tacticians.
Icyo mbona kigomba gukorwa mu Rwanda nuko bagomba kwita ku banyarwanda b'abana bari gutukura kuzamuka uko nka Rayon Sports twatwiringiye aba bakinnyi bose b'abanyamahanga bose nta na kimwe bakoze. The ongoing National Football League is 10 playing days old and still without a sponsor. Are the current football administrators doing enough to keep the fans interested?
Usanga abayobora abari muri federation batakurikiza amategeko uko yakabaye cyangwa se hari byo birengagiza.
Recently, the Tour of Rwanda, a cycling event, was successfully held in the country and sponsored to the tune of 300 million francs. Does this tell the lack of ambition with the football authorities?
Federation irakora ariko ntago jewe nayishima 100%. Na nyakubahwa perezida wa Repubulika yavuze ijambo ryiza igihe yakiraga abanyamagare. Ni byiza ko hari abantu beza ugomba kureberaho. No mu byo twatojwe mu ntore harimo ijambo rivuga ngo intore n'inkore neza bandebereho. So nkuko abanyamagare bagaragaje mu myaka 6 ibyo bagezeho, federation yacu nayo nayigira inama nireke kwirukira guhita igera kuri bi yayo hataragera, igende gake ifata igihe yihintego.
For most of these football fans, football isn't just a game. It is a ritual, a way of life, a moment many hold dear, and changes should come soon if the football leaders want the beautiful game to go back to its golden days. Arnold Kwizera, Rise and Shine, Rwanda.
Rayon Sports fans, very loyal, very vocal. Now, one of the things that caught my attention in this video is this fanatic at the stadium who's saying, in this particular game, at the game he was at, we expected foreigners to do great, to showcase their skills, and unfortunately they did not showcase that. And why don't we invest in our people, in our players? What do you think about that statement?
I think it's a very correct statement. You know, it echoes what the FERAFA is saying, not doing, you know, because those are two different things, what you say and what you do. FERAFA have been talking about putting an under-15 and under-17 league in place for the past 2 years. We have not had that yet. When you look at the Ombudsman Cup that took place over the weekend, the 2 teams that go to the finals are coached by locally based, you know, tacticians who were molded you know, in Rwanda who have learned all their coaching in Rwanda. Now the other two teams who are the biggest giants in the game, that's Rayon Sport and APR, are being coached by tacticians from, you know, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Petrovic, who's from Serbia. So it's, you wonder why aren't the local coaches being given, you know, these big clubs. That's why I think we keep complaining when it comes down to the national team, because you bring in a foreign coach who hardly knows anything about Rwandan football players, and he has to watch games, and or he has to pick players that are being given to him, you know, that kind of thing. So this, it's we're getting this problem, and I think the fan has every right to say what he is saying.
Another statement that was made towards the end of the video by this lady who said the president welcomed Valens Daisenga, the cyclist that made us very proud. And she's saying maybe that's going to trickle down to other sports as well. Now, what you mentioned in the video is that Tour de Rwanda got sponsored to the tune of 300 million Rwandan francs. Why can't football be that organized? And it's the king competition here. It's the king sport.
Yeah, football, yes, no doubt it's the biggest sport in the country, but it has lagged behind when it comes to organization and sponsorship over the past years.
Why is that?
I think it comes down to the one, egos within the administration, and two, are these people competent enough to run football? What are they bringing new to the table? You know, the people who are in the Football Association, that's FERAFA. Because there's no way we are going to run a football league without a reserve league. That doesn't work anywhere if you want to promote football. You don't wake up in the morning and bring up rules, you know, that have to be followed by every club without consulting the clubs first. You know, I think so many of the rules, in fact, one of the fans was saying, these people, football authorities, don't follow the rules themselves. Most of the rules that are made are impulse rules, you know, emotional rules. We are banned from CHAN, and then let's ban naturalized players. They never take blame for their own mistakes.
All right. Now, when it comes to football in Rwanda, what do you think is going to be our saving grace? I mean, is it just changing the way the administration works inside of FERAFA, or is it going to take new blood? Is it going to be like new people, former players? Because we have former players in Rwanda, people that actually love the sport to make the culture change here.
I won't say that people running it don't love the sport. They do love the sport, but I think we need a general mindset change within FERAFA, you know, to adapt to what we call evolution. You know, they need to accept some new changes and take up these new changes, and then maybe pick ideas from Ferasi, because when you look at the Tour of Rwanda, which is under Ferasi, they know they can't run the whole shopping. So what do? They pick someone from the Tour de France. You know, they pick people who have been around the world, who have run these cycling events to run it. Maybe football needs someone like that, finally.
When it comes to sports here in Rwanda in general, from what you got to talking to these people on the streets, is football still the #1 sport here, or do you feel like other sports are taking over and maybe football might lag behind?
I think football is still the #1 sport here, and it will be for a very long time. But people are getting less interested. People now watch the soccer matches on their phones, you
listen
know,
to them on their
they
phone,
just
yeah.
listen to their phones and they watch the English Premier League. You know, they're no longer going to the stadiums.
Why is that?
I think it's one, they're losing the interest in the game. They're losing the interest. Generally, they're losing interest in the game. Every time you hear of wrangles and wrangles, it's like when you hear your neighbor and there are wrangles all the time,
Right.
you won't want to visit them. I think that's the problem.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Arnold.
Thank you, Regis.
You are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Makeda and I will be right back.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world. First Lady Janet Kagame says that efforts to empower the youth and prepare them to become productive citizens are mandatory to drive the country's future to success. This comes after the First Lady was speaking at the opening of the annual holiday youth camp for secondary school students in Huye. She urged the youths to uphold proper practices and values to ensure a better future for themselves and their country. The camp is an occasion to assess the students' performance and provide advice. Over 900 boys and girls attended the camp and are sponsored by the Imbuto Foundation.
Despite growing enthusiasm to study science disciplines, the number of women employed in the science sector remained very low compared to men. This comes after female youth from different schools across the country took part in a science innovation exercise organized by Here to Voice, an organization that aims to encourage more women to study science and technology related courses. Officials say that girls still had a challenge of taking up courses like electrical, mechanical, engineering, and telecommunication systems, which will make them compete with men.
And in international news, Zimbabwe's ruling party has confirmed President Robert Mugabe's wife, Grace, is the new head of its women's wing. Analyst says that the First Lady's promotion to head of ZANU-PF's women's wing will put her in a good position to succeed her husband in the future. In recent months, the 49-year-old First Lady has carried out a campaign against Vice President Joyce Mujuru, who until recently was a leading contender in the behind-the-scenes battle to eventually succeed President Robert Mugabe.
US journalist Luke Summers and South African teacher Pierre Corky were killed by Al-Qaeda militants during a failed rescue mission in Yemen. Officials say they were to be released yesterday, but were fatally shot in the compound by a terrorist as the secret mission unfolded. The operation was carried out by joint US and Yemeni special forces in the southern region of Shabwa. President Obama said he authorized the raid to rescue Mr. Summers and other hostages held in the same location after information had indicated that Summers' life was in imminent danger. Time now for a review of the headlines. Eugene Anangwe joins us now to look through some of the front pages. Eugene, now when it comes to free legal aid, is this going to be another flavor of the week like we were talking about recently? Or is this something that's going to go beyond the week and people are not going to be on their own here?
Because today marks the beginning of Legal Aid Week, right?
Yes, the Judiciary Week. And of course, as you ask correctly, is the same question that is on the minds of many people, because the Ministry of Justice and those in charge of legal issues are offering free legal aid to women and children. But of course, the concern here, as you say, is will this continue on or not? What I understand is that normally the state offers free legal aid if you're not able to have an attorney. So I think what they want to do is to create more awareness that this service is available, so that when you are in a crisis or in a situation where you need to be represented by an attorney, you should understand that there is that provision that you can be given this person around. So again, my emphasis is on the lack of this kind of awareness and only waiting for that period when it is the week 4 that particular event for people to talk about these things. As I said last time when we were talking about the anti-corruption, I didn't see any further follow-up. After the week was over or it was done away with, everything now seems to be back as usual. I mean, back to business as usual. So it's the same question with this one as well. And I think matters legal is something very important. Matters justice is very important and needs to be given more emphasis. We need to see a lot of billboards. We need to hear a lot of skits on radios in local dialect, local languages, for people to really understand that if I have a problem with my land crisis or issue with this person and I want to go to court and I don't have the money to pay a good attorney, the state can provide one for me. So there is need for more of this to happen and not just wait for the week of this event to talk about this kind of thing.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. This is hot on the presses right now. And it's like the next chapter in this saga because we've spoken about this before.
Yes.
The ICC has now dropped charges against Uhuru Kenyatta. Tell us about that.
And that brings us to the hashtag of the week.
The hashtag of the week.
And the hashtag was vindicated. And every statement that was being posted on Twitter by the people handling the president's Twitter account and the government were using that hashtag vindicated. But one thing that people need to understand that it is not yet Uhuru for President Uhuru Kenyatta. It is not yet time to fully celebrate. And analysts are saying that this is that critical moment to see whether the union between him and his deputy will hold. The union in the Jubilee government will hold. Because, you know, these two people, the president and his deputy, were accused of these crimes before they became president. Each of them were not fighting alongside each other based on these allegations that they're being accused of. Uhuru was on the other side, Ruto was on the other side. And so now one of them has been cleared of the charges. So now the other one needs also to be cleared. Because people are saying that if now Ruto is not cleared, then they will say that, look, they fixed him. And so now he's on his own. Where is that unity that they had when they were all campaigning around when these charges were leveled against them?
That was actually what I was going to ask you.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but if William Ruto is aspiring to become president, because we all know when His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta went to Hague to actually attend the ICC, he left William Ruto with the power of a president in charge.
Making him the shortest president
to ever be a president. Exactly.
Yes.
Now, how's the political climate in Nairobi as we speak? Does he want to become president? Is it an imminent hope? Or is he going to wait his turn, wait for elections, not stab Uhuru in the back? How is it going to work?
Today, what is the environment that is there today, when I talk from the government side, is that of showing the public that we are still together. And if you look at the speech that the president made, and even on Sunday when they were addressing a gathering in a certain place in Kenya, what they were saying is that we are still going to be united. We didn't come together because of these ICC cases. We came together because we wanted to show people, the population of Kenya and the world, that two different communities that fought against each other can still come together and work towards building the country. And that is what united us, and not the ICC cases. So they have to prove this. They really have to prove this.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Eugene, once again, shining some light on the situation.
Right.
Now it is time for Lifestyle. It's up next, and it's going to be also a look at what's hot right now at our Daily Debate section, Hot Topics. So we'll be right back.
Welcome back, and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. It's time for Lifestyle. Alan Karachiri, what do you have for us?
Well, like I said earlier, it's all about Motivation Mondays today, and I'm gonna let you guys get into it and get fit.
All right.
Awesome.
It's Motivation Monday, and this week we learn about the importance of fruits and vegetables in our diet. We also get some tips on how we can stay fit right in the comfort of our home. Let's take a look. Welcome back. It's Motivation Monday, and we're back again with Dennis Dubdale.
There you
I
go.
got it right this time.
Yes, you did.
And we're going to talk about fruits and vegetables, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
All right. So what are you going to tell us today? What do you want to teach us today?
Well, we say fruit and vegetables, but it's also about minerals and vitamins. So last Monday we talked about the protein, and we recommend 35% should be protein. But this week it's about vegetables and fruit. Most people, they would like to lean down a tiny bit, or some even more. The easiest way to do that is to replace a lot of the carbohydrates that you get, so the rice, ugali, etc., replace that with vegetables. So imagine if you have a plate in front of you, 50%, so half the plate should actually be green, red, yellow, and the other colors of vegetables that you eat. The reason why that matters is that when you eat 50% salad, you'll feel full, right? You'll feel full. So, and secondly, there are very few calories actually in salad, but it will give you all the vitamins that you need and all the minerals. So you get just all the best you can get. You get full or feel full, but you don't get all the calories that you do when you eat rice, ugali, chips, and so on.
Great. And is there maybe a tip of the day you have for our viewers?
Well, there are many tips when it comes to vegetables. Instead of eating the vegetables that has been cooked in oil, I would prefer that you eat them either raw or steamed. That's where you get the most of it. It just contains more of the minerals and the vitamins. But in general, if you have a habit of not eating vegetables, beginning to eat some vegetables will make all the difference. So, dear viewer, today we're going to work on the core. The core means your abdominal region and your lower back. So today, Phoebe's again, like last Monday, going to show us how to do the different exercises. I want to show you 3 different exercises, and I just want you to keep up. Is that okay? Yeah, there you go. The first one, you have to have shoulder width, your legs. I want you to keep your knees and your legs straight, so your knees should be locked. Then I want you to have your back curved, not like this, but this way, strong, good posture. And put your arms up here. So I'll show you, and then I want you to repeat after me. So, go, and good morning. And look, I'm looking straight out in here, okay? And you'll feel it in the hamstring. And last one. Okay. Let me see you do it. And the last one. There you go. Very good. Good job.
That's a good bite.
You feel it? So the thing is, at home, you'll notice that not only can you feel it in your lower back once you're done with the quick beat, but during you feel it in your hamstring. They're getting tight. So it's stretching your hamstring. The next one is, again, it kind of fits to Rwanda today because it's called a mountain climber, and I feel this country is full of mountains. So this exercise is, you're actually going to use a bit more energy. So you go down, put both of your hands on the floor, you kind of keep your body straight, and then you go 1, 2, 3, and 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There you go. So breathing. So you may wonder at home, like, what is it good for? Well, it is good for your cardio, but mostly whenever you lift your legs, you're actually using your abdominal region, or your abs, as we call it. So the last one is called the plank. That's more of a static exercise. And all these exercises you can easily do at home. You go down, put your elbows on the mat or whatever you have, and then, as you see now, you keep your body straight. So that's all you do. You breathe, and then you see how long you can stay in this position. There you go. Keep your body straight. There you go. There you go. So 15 more seconds. Ten more seconds. Just give it all you got. All you got. There you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Very impressive. Very impressive. So if you didn't see you, thank you. Great today. So next time we are going to focus on fat, and we're going to mention all the positive things and important things about fat. Yes, you may be surprised, but that's what we're going to cover next week. Thank you.
What do you think of that?
Good stuff there, good stuff. You know what? It's good that Eve is actually doing it, Eve, our intern here, because he actually looks like he has a grasp of the exercises. You know, he's doing them well. I want to know why you're not doing them.
You know what? I didn't bring my gym clothes. I didn't bring my gym clothes.
Really?
So I was like, you know what? Since Eve had his gym clothes, why not we have him?
And last week as well?
Yeah. I mean, for some reason, I just keep forgetting my
You
gym
know,
clothes.
everyone out there, if you watch Motivation Monday and you want Alan to do next week's, you guys need to put that in social media and all sorts of things. He needs to hear from you guys. He wants, you know.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll see.
Okay, so it's the importance of fruits and vegetables in our diet.
Absolutely, yeah. Because one thing that he was talking about was that, you know, we need our vitamins, we need our minerals, you know, and one of the biggest sources of vitamins and minerals is vegetables and fruits.
Right.
So, and one thing he also talked about was the fact that when you have your plate, like your dish, you should try and aim to have at least 50% of vegetables in your diet. So the tip he gave was that you need to cut out your carbs, your carbohydrates. So that means like your rice and your potatoes.
No.
Well, I mean, this is part of staying healthy, right?
Right.
Of course, there are other options. Like, for example, if you like rice, you can get brown rice instead of white rice.
Okay.
But essentially, it's good to have more vegetables than carbs.
Absolutely. Okay, well, definitely going to be working on that. Monday is the perfect day to hear about that so that, you know, you can feel like you're starting something afresh and something new. Hopefully next Monday you'll be the one who's going to be exercising and showing us firsthand instead of just holding the mic.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
All right.
So stay tuned. Coming up next is the Hot Topics. Welcome back. It's that Hot Topics time again. As always, you can join in on the debates through our social media, whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter. All right, let's get into our first hot topic. This one is a good one. We all know Dr. Donald Kaberuka, I always have a hard time with that name, who is the president of the African Development Bank. Last week actually won the Forbes Africa Lifetime Achievement Award, which was, I think, a great achievement. He was also nominated for the Forbes Africa Person of the Year, but unfortunately he didn't get that one. It was Aliko Dangote from Nigeria who got that. What do you guys think about that?
That's a huge honor. It's big. It's big for Rwanda. It's big for the AFDB, but it speaks volumes from where he's from and the way he's representing the country and the continent. So, big ups to him.
Absolutely. And you know, they say that he's done a lot while he was part of the AFDB. He's been there 10 years now. And he's brought a lot of
developments from the Africa Development Bank. Before he took the helm at the Africa Development Bank, many were calling it another failed African Union project. And over the last year, they broke even. That's why they were even able to host the African Development Bank Summit here in Rwanda. They broke even for the first time, and they're now posting profits of more than $800 billion. And that's him at the helm.
And let's remember, he's the one that smoothed the transition between Ivory Coast, where he was located, moved it where he was based, moved it to Tunis while there was trouble in Ivory Coast, and now he's bringing it back to Abidjan. So, great man we have.
Absolutely. Now, back to negative news, unfortunately. This is about 3 men who were found guilty in Germany, in the city of Düsseldorf. They were found guilty for aiding FDLR. These men were basically convicted, one for 4 years, the other one for 2 years, and another one for 3 years. And basically what they're being charged of is aiding the group with campaigns for murder, rape, as well as child soldier recruitment, and while living in Germany as German citizens. So, I mean, I guess...
I think the countries are starting to stand up against FDLR being a terrorist organization and it being responsible for the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi down here. FDLR, like some within the UN, are not actually going with the UN mandate, because recently we had people within FDLR being flown to Rome, you know, in UN chartered helicopters to go and attend meetings outside, which you ask yourself, where does the UN belong, where does the EU? But of late, countries within the European Union are starting to take a stand against them. Sweden did prosecute some a few months back. The UK is going to prosecute some, and Germany has taken the first steps. So the end of the road for FDLR is near, and very soon.
Yes.
I just feel like it's very good, and it's positive news, especially for the people who are most affected by the acts of these people, because we really need all of this to end. I mean, we were just talking the other day about what's happening in Kenya. You know, it's just there's so many craziness and madness going on right now. It's really good when we hear good news, and I just feel like it's something we should take to heart and play our part in making sure that, you know, this is an easy transition and we find solutions to all these problems.
Yeah, it's good. It's a very good first step being. Before they were not even being prosecuted. 3 years, 4 years is a very short time for what they did and caused, supported.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
yeah. All right, let's go on to the next hot topic. This one is about comedian Trevor Noah from South Africa. I don't know if you guys know of him. Recently, he was on an American TV show called The Jon Stewart Show, which is a night show and is very popular in America. And basically, I think we should watch a little bit of the clip just to show you a little bit of what he was doing when he was on the show.
Okay. All right there, oldie but a goodie. Very nice. No, seriously. I've been holding my arms like this since I got here. Yeah. I never thought I'd be more afraid of police in America than in South Africa. It kind of makes me a little nostalgic for the old days back home.
That's just, come on. Are you saying black people in South Africa today don't get assaulted and killed by police?
Oh, no. I mean, they do. But since apartheid ended, they're now also being killed by black police. Progress.
Well, listen, baby steps. But you're relaxed now, you're not nervous, you feel good, you're...
I'm still a bit nervous, to be honest, between your cops and, frankly, your Ebola.
Your Ebola, my friend, it's not our... Believe me, he misspoke. You are from Africa. It's your Ebola, my friend.
No. South Africa, John. We haven't had a single case in over 18 years. In fact, my friends warned me. They were like, Trevor, don't go to the US. You'll catch Ebola. And I was like, you know what, guys? Just because they had a few cases of Ebola doesn't mean we should cut off travel there. That would be ignorant, right? You know what? Let's play a little game. It's called Spot the Africa.
This doesn't involve me identifying anything.
All right, so as you see, what I loved about it, first of all, he made the joke about how, traveling to America, how they tried to ban travel in Africa because we have Ebola. Well, he was doing the same joke, but reversed. Yeah. I just love the fact that he really, he brought the whole thing about Africa and made people realize that they shouldn't treat Africa as, first of all, as a country, and also that they're so ignorant about Africa. And
he said what everyone here was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
And in a week and a half, I mean, if you think about the Ferguson events, then you think about the Eric Garner backlash. Yeah. I mean, you look at all that happened in a week and a half. It didn't take much. And it's basically the exact same thing. Absolutely. So if you think about it, this is a country that's supposed to be super advanced and,
the land of the free.
The richest country in the world.
They're supposed to teach us values and everything. But when you think about it, it's not... clear cut. I mean, it's not exactly what you think it is. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he did it in a funny way, but I'm sure the message got to where it needed to go.
Very sure
hopefully they understood and hopefully they get it. They get it now.
Absolutely. Actually, one other thing that we didn't see was that there was a part where he'd show pictures of America and Africa, and he'd get Jon Stewart to guess which was which, right?
Oh,
and of course, John would say, "Oh yeah, that's definitely Africa and that's America," but he was always wrong. But again, I feel like it's another way to show people, hey, don't just judge.
Travel.
Open your eyes.
Travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, well, don't forget that we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas for our programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we do. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your photos. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today. We love to hear your feedback. And do let us know if you want to have an idea for the program. If you have, basically, we love to have your feedback. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahadio. We'll be here same time, same place tomorrow. So please do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.